Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to tell you that yes, I did leave TORRID. If you have not seen my new job update, be sure to check that video out. I got a brand new job, which I'm very excited about, and it will not allow me to stay at TORRID as well because it is a full-time position. But in the meantime, I have wanted to quit TORRID for a while. But without having a secure job in place, I did not want to do so because it eventually would have been my only source of income. So I wanted to jump on and tell you guys a little bit about my experience with TORRID. And there's a saying that my mom always says, and I feel like it is so correct right now. My time at TORRID was real, it was fun, but it was not real fun. I spent the first like 3 months there as an associate, then I spent maybe 2 or 3 weeks as a manager, and then I went back to an associate after realizing being a manager is not for me. And I learned a lot from the experience. It has definitely given me a different perspective on how customers should be treated, how you should be treated as a customer, the whole retail industry as a whole. I think that the entire company has a really great mindset. I think that they're going to do really great things, and I wish the company nothing but the best. I think that it is going to be great what we see from them in the next coming years, and I kind of see it like I saw my sorority. My sorority experience was horrible, which I can do a whole video on if you'd like to see. It's like the whole company is great, but like I just got to a bad chapter. So I'm not saying, please don't take that, if you are looking for a job at TORRID, please don't think that this is how every single TORRID store is run, because not every TORRID store is going to be run the same way. I worked at 2 different TORRIDs, and I got 2 different kinds of managers, and 2 different ways that things will run. I worked with, I believe I counted the other day, 6 or 7 managers in total, not including myself, obviously. I worked one day at a second store, which was really hard. I did not like that store, and I never took another shift over there again because it was so horrible. And it was just horrible because part of it was the clientele. People over there were very, very rude and condescending. So I definitely treat sales associates in a different way than I did before. Not that I was ever awful to sales associates or anything, but like, you can tell when someone's having a bad day. So I try to be as, I don't know, easy to take care of it as possible, but at the same time, like when I talk about Charlotte Russe, they never help me with anything ever, and that's really just unacceptable. I worked at one store specifically, and almost other than the one time I spent at the other store, and I had one manager that no longer works there that was a very, I guess you could say, different person than from myself. My first week there, she made me go out into the pouring rain to go get her lunch. Because she didn't want to get her hair wet, which at the time I was not aware that I was not required to do that, which obviously I shouldn't be required to do that. It was just like a power thing. And then eventually that person left the company. I'm not going to explain why, because that's her business. I do know why, but that's not your business. The staff in general, the girls were always nice to me. I really like some of them. Some of them I'm still friends with. It's really hard because I have like 2 different kinds of videos that I wanted to make in my mind. Like part of me is really mad about a lot of stuff. And then part of me, like, I really did like working there at times. It was like I had really good coworkers, and it's like they're, oh God, it's so hard to explain. Did you ever have a teacher at school that was like a really nice person, but like a really crap teacher? Like they were just bad at teaching? That is how I feel about my manager. And I love her. I love her to bits. I think she's an amazing person. I know if we went out and we got drinks, we would have so much fun. But like, there were times where she was an amazing manager, and then there were times where she was petty and mean and just rude in general, just absolutely rude. And I don't understand what she's going through. I don't know what it takes to manage a store, but I know what it takes to talk to people in a way that will get you respected. And a lot of the times that was not it. It was not it. I had a big problem with the other associates in general, because I would cover people's shifts left and right, and no one would cover my shifts. I only asked for shifts to be covered when I had a conflict or if I was sick. There was only one time I ever called in sick, and I got reamed for it. Like, I have a migraine. I literally cannot see out of my right eye, which means I cannot drive, which means I'm not coming to work. I've been trying to get my shift covered for 2 days because I get cycles of migraines. Usually they happen in 3-day cycles. So the second day of my cycle, I called in saying, I'm going to get somebody to cover my shift. I'm so sorry I'm not going to be able to come in. No one would cover my shift. No one. And the way that our store works, it's usually just a manager and a sales associate on the floor, and that's it. They don't have enough staff. They have enough staff, but corporate does not give them enough hours to actually do everything they need to do, in my opinion. And that's just because we're a smaller store. But so if there's no sales associate, they have no way of closing the store, because somebody has to like back up all the documents when we count everything out at the end of the night. So I would constantly be scheduled out of my availability, which a lot of it has to do with the computer system. I totally understand that. I was supposed to have had this relationship with the manager where I would send my availability to her weekly, because my schedule was kind of weird. I was kind of trying to flip-flop and work on nights when Brett was working, so we would get to spend those nights together. I was only supposed to be working after 6:30, and somehow the last 3 weeks I worked there, my availability got changed to 4:30. It didn't get changed in the system because I checked it, but somehow I was still being scheduled at 4:30, which is not okay, because that absolutely meant I would not get to eat dinner that night until 10 o'clock when I got home. And that's really not okay with me. Like, I don't know what to say about this. There was one time where I came to the store, and apparently the manager had been having a hard day, and she felt like it was okay to scream at me. And it's not the first time I've been yelled at, and it's not the first time that I'd had friends tell me they'd been yelled at. I literally walked in. She asked how I was. I said, well, I'm still not feeling well because I had a cold, and I'd had a cold for like 2 weeks, and it wasn't going away. And when I have head colds, all the sinus pressure causes more migraines, because that's just how my brain works. And I said, I'm sorry, I have a head cold, I'm not feeling so hot, and I couldn't get anybody to cover my shift. And I just got screamed at. Well, Danny, if you don't want to be here, then just pack your stuff up and go. Just go. I don't even want to deal with you right now. Just leave. And I was like, okay, I had literally just walked in. I'd literally just been screamed at. I was literally just trying to say I could not get anybody to cover my shift, because the girls that work there never cover anyone's shifts. It was like me and 2 other girls would cover people's shifts whenever we could, but nobody else covers people's shifts to an extent. It was really, really hard to get somebody to cover someone else's shift. It's like, I have a full-time job here, and I'm trying to do this on the side, and it's just not even doable. When I was a manager, I was frequently in the store by myself, which I was not aware would be something I would have to sign up for. It's unsafe to be in a retail store that is not in a mall by yourself. It was an outdoor mall. As a police officer girlfriend, I was given a lecture about how unsafe that is. It just didn't sit well with me. Not to mention, I lost money so fast. Because I was not scheduled when I had asked to be scheduled. I had a big problem with that in general, and it just really, really bothered me. I had a lot of really, really good times here. I hardly had any bad customers. I can only think of a few bad customers that I had, and they were all at that one store the one time. I almost never had any bad customers at my regular store. We had mostly regulars. I had people that thanked me profusely because they'd never been in the store and they never had any idea what was going on with with us, and we put them in clothes that they'd never had fit so well, and it was really great. But it was so hard to work with those people because it was like a freaking bipolar city. You didn't know if you were going to get happy manager or freaked out manager. You just didn't know. And I'm not going to let somebody talk to me like that. You are not better than me. You're not. None of you are better than me, and I'm not better than you. We are all people here, and we all deserve to be respected. And I wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video, you guys. I wasn't sure if I was going to just let it rest, and I don't know how long I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep it up long enough to get my point across, basically. It's just really frustrating to me. I have worked for a lot of different companies. This was my first real retail job. I worked over the summer at PacSun when I was 16 once for a couple months, and I took like 4 shifts, so it wasn't like I really did that. But I've worked for a lot of companies, and I have never been treated like this before. I've never been yelled at. Never. I'm a good worker, you guys. I put my work in. I do what I'm told. But this was just, it was just ridiculous. I guess that's pretty much what I got right now. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Fridays are always hauls. I'm sorry that this is how my experience at TORRID happened, but it's the truth. So, that's what I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you next time. Love you guys. Bye.